Here's something that happened that's actually pretty cool. I like this. We're going to listen to this. And I do appreciate this very much. AOC did this recently. So here, let's check this out. We'll go to the beginning, give it a little bit of volume.
Our left party. We don't have a left party in the United States. The Democratic Party is not a left party.
People are applauding.
The Democratic Party is a center or center conservative party. We do not advocate for, we can't even get a floor vote on Medicare for all. Not even a floor vote that gets voted down. We can't even get a vote on it. So this is not a left party. There are left members inside the Democratic Party that are working to try to make that shift happen. But you're right, it does convey a certain sentiment about true believers. And there are a lot of true believers in that we can capitalism our way out of poverty in the Democratic Party. If anything, that's probably the majority.
Right.
And that's an area in which I agree with Dr. King, that that assessment is flawed.
The Democratic Party is not a left party. It's a center-right party. She's addressing that. And she's addressing the fact that, yes, there are some left members in the Democratic Party. Why? Because they have nowhere else to go. They really have nowhere else with electoral power to go right now. And that's something I would like to see change. You know, I showed up in 2017 to try to get Bernie to start a new party. I do think that starting a viable third party is possible. Not right now. I mean, not right now. I think the window of opportunity was a couple years ago. It was not taken. And you're saying, well, Ron, does a couple years make a difference? Well, yeah, because the Republicans became what we know as the Republicans within a 6-year period. So yes, the time window was a couple years ago. It's not going to happen right now, the year of a presidential election. But I wanted a new party to start. I showed up encouraging that to happen, to have an actual People's Party. And for something like that to happen in electoral politics, you need a huge movement, but you also need some leaders. You need, some viable leaders that are going to be the face of it. And the people who are big enough to do something like that have, at least to my knowledge, all said no. They've all said no. So, this is kind of what we're stuck with. And, AOC has summed it up. Like, yeah, it's not, imagine, just take into account for a second that the majority of Democrats, according to her statement, the majority of Democrats believe that capitalism will rise people out of poverty. Capitalism, in many ways, is the cause of a lot of poverty. We don't have charitable acts because of capitalism. We have charitable acts in spite of capitalism. So this idea that capitalism, where, the money is just going to the top, going to the profits, everything's all about the profits, not about the human. There's just no, as she put it, it's very flawed, and that's putting it gently. I'm reading a book right now called Debt, and it's all about the history of debt. It's a very, very dense, thick book, and I've really been struggling getting through it, but I've been enjoying it. But it's like I'll have to go back and revisit stuff because I won't quite grasp stuff the first time. It's a very, very, very heavy read, and it talks about how, debt just kind of came to be, how money came to be. And it kind of goes into all these details about how once we started pursuing this idea of profit, well, that's when war economies started. And we kind of see human history repeating itself over and over again up to present day. We want profit. We want resources. So we start war and we continue war. And then a bunch of poets And, philosophers, as they put it back then, respond to this by saying humanity should do better, and the cycle continues. And many, many years ago, like in China, BC, there were a couple thinkers and philosophers that said, you know what, when we pursue profit first, that's when everything becomes corrupt. We should pursue humans first, and we should make this all about the quality of life for each other and for our fellow man, and we should try to be communal. And we shouldn't be just pursuing profit above all else, and we shouldn't be pursuing war. And those people were ignored. They didn't listen to those people. So a long time ago, people figured it out that we shouldn't be doing it this way. When we just are like, we're going to get as much as possible for ourselves, and that's our main agenda. Well, that's when you invade other places to take their stuff, and that's bad. War's a shitty thing. They figured it out a long time ago. A long, long time, and they were ignored. And they were like, no, we're going to keep doing it this way and see what happens. And thousands of years later, thousands upon thousands of years later, here we are. And AOC is IDing the problem. We have a two-party system where one party is a center-right party at best, and the other party is a neo-fascist party. And why is the GOP so horrible and repulsive? Well, because the Democrats are such a weak, borderline, non-existent alternative. And, it's a long haul to really transform our politics. And as AOC puts it, people are trying. There are some left people that have infiltrated the system, but we need a lot more of that. And we also need a movement behind it. People are starting to notice that the Democratic establishment is ignoring its base. More and more people are noticing that. But that still needs to grow, and that still needs to amplify. But I do appreciate AOC's take on this one. I think that's a really cool statement she made, and a really good statement. So and true. It's the sad truth. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and make it our own. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today.